Welcome back. The 90th Interpol General Assembly meet will be held in the national capital at Pragati Maidan today. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be addressing the meet, which is taking place in the country after 25 years. Now, delegates from 195 Interpol member countries will be attending this annual meet, including the Interpol President, Ahmed Nasser El-Raizi, who Secretary General Jurgen, CBI Director R.K. Shukla, and Union Home Minister Amit Shah. The proposition to hold the meeting in India in view of the country's celebration of its 75th year of independence had been accepted with a sweeping majority by the General Assembly. Now, my colleague Arunima spoke to the Secretary General of the Interpol, Jurgen. Let's have a look.
Draw your attention to something that has been raised as a matter of concern ahead of this General Assembly, which is the issue of somebody who's been proscribed as a terrorist. The name is Gurpatwant Singh Pannoon. He's associated with an organization called Seek for Justice. Indian police organizations, including our National Investigation Agency, which deals with terrorism, has requested the Interpol for a red corner notice against him. And very recently, we have learned that Interpol has refused to issue that. Now, if you could set the record straight as to why this has happened, because a lot of people here in India are making all kinds of allegations, including saying that this is the hypocrisy of the West, that you don't really care for our terror concerns, us in the third world.
Yeah, I ask for your understanding that I cannot comment on individual cases. But the principle is, again, that Interpol has a kind of limited mandate. It is strictly forbidden for the organization to enter into any activity that might have an overwhelming, predominantly military, political, religious or racial content or meaning. We have to strictly stay away from that. And that sometimes leads to the fact that we decline a request from member countries for cooperation. I understand that that sometimes frustrates member countries, but it's important. That is the basic principle and part of the success story of Interpol, that we all respect that limited mandate, which doesn't mean that any decision for Interpol not to be engaged in a case is a judgment on the merit of a case or any decision taken by a court. No, that is not our business. But we have to check the compliance with our rules. Again, Interpol has a limited mandate, ordinary law crime, that is our focus, and anything else, member countries can use other channels if they need international police cooperation, others than Interpol, but that is the limited mandate which we have to respect, and this is part why, despite all the geopolitical difficulties during the last decades, Interpol was only growing because this principle was respected.
But I hear from Indian government sources that in this particular case, they could go in for an appeal. Does the Interpol constitution allow countries to go in for an appeal? Should Indian agencies be hopeful that in this case also an appeal could be met favorably?
We have a certain mechanism, of course, in place that member countries can be heard. We have a mechanism in place also that subjects of a notice, for instance, can reach out to an appeals body and can challenge the decision taken by Interpol to publish a notice. That framework exists and, of course, is being used. Yes, of course.